the 2023 LEGO Gunship really that bad? Let's find out. Hello everybody, the Brickologist here with another LEGO Star Wars set review. Today we have set number 75354, Coruscant Guard Gunship. This set retails for about $140 here in the US, where it has 1,083 pieces, and here is a front look at your box with that glorious Coruscant backdrop, which continues on the back of the box, which also showcases some awesome play features with this set. You get one very large instruction manual with 220 pages of building, and there's one advertisement at the very back here for the September 1st, 2023 wave of LEGO Star Wars sets. I gotta say, I really like this wave, one of the most colorful waves we've gotten in years. Almost 1,100 pieces later, the Coruscant Guard Gunship is complete, and there's just one build and the 5 minifigures. No side speeder bike. More on that later. Let's look at those figures here first though. The first minifigure of this set, which you get 2 of, LEGO refers to as Coruscant Guards, but I think most people will call them Shock Troopers. We haven't gotten these guys in quite some time, and this modern interpretation of the Shock Trooper is absolutely fantastic. I love everything about this figure. The printing head to toe is great. The helmet is great. The newer style of clone face is great. The back printing is great. I love this figure. This is a huge win in my opinion. Another huge win is an updated version of the Clone Wars Padme Amidala. This looks so much better than the disgusting figure we got with the Malevolence all the way back in 2012. LEGO really knocked this figure out of the park. The printing is fantastic. The hairpiece is fantastic. The back printing and the double-sided face, fantastic. Another awesome figure included with this set. Let's keep this win streak going, y'all, because we have a Clone Wars version of Chancellor Palpatine included with this set, and he is bloody brilliant. Look, we get Emperor Palpatine all the time from LEGO, but Chancellor Palpatine is a lot more rare, and they knocked this figure out of the park. The printing is exquisite. I think the face print looks great. The back printing going all the way down the robe piece is brilliant, and that double-sided face just screams Sheev to me. I love this figure. And finally, to round out this minifigure lineup, we get a Clone Wars version of Commander Fox, a figure LEGO Star Wars fans have been clamoring to get for years now. What a brilliant end to one of the best minifigure. Wait a second. Hold up. What on earth am I looking at? Yeah, unfortunately, Commander Fox, probably the most exciting character included with this set, is an absolute disgrace of a LEGO Star Wars minifigure. There is one part I do love, and that is the helmet. The helmet looks great, and getting a clone helmet in red is very cool, so credit where credit is due, the helmet looks solid. However, the printing here is just an abomination. They decided to print the white armor onto a red torso piece, and it looks more pink than white. I just don't understand why LEGO would do this. Look at the Shock Troopers included with this very set. Their red printing on the white looks great. Why did you decide to print the white on the red, LEGO? That is so confusing and looks so horrible. And then the legs. Lots of people complained about this, especially with the Rex figure that comes with the Venator. Instead of having the waist cape as a physical piece, it's just printed on the legs, and it really doesn't look all that good. So yeah, the printing here is just really, really bad. The face is fine. The back print, again, is pretty awful. So besides the helmet and just the head, this figure sucks, and it's really disappointing because the other figures in this set are so good. Switching gears to the build of this set, here is the Low Altitude Assault Transport itself, LAAT for short, but you all probably refer to this vehicle as the Republic Gunship, or in this instance, the Coruscant Guard Gunship, which is the name of this particular set. LEGO is no stranger to producing sets based on this vehicle. Highlights include the original original version from 2002, which coincided with the release of Attack of the Clones, and that version in particular was remade in 2013 with a set a lot of people consider to be the best gunship of all time. Additionally, we got the iconic 2008 Republic Attack gunship based on the Clone Wars, and most recently we got the UCS gunship just 2 years ago in 2021. So LEGO has made a lot of gunships throughout the years. However, all of those had one thing in common. The color scheme remained the same. It was always primarily white with accents of dark red and small accents of lime green. This is the first time they've branched from that, and they gave us one here that's mostly dark red with just accents of white. I know a lot of people who don't own any prior versions of the gunship are upset LEGO chose this color scheme for this set in particular, and look, I understand your frustration, but from my point of view as a longtime collector of LEGO Star Wars who owns every other version of the LEGO Republic gunship, I'm actually stoked we're getting something different here. I've been clamoring for LEGO to mix up their color schemes for years now because it seems like we always get the same X-Wings, TIE Fighters, Y-Wings, etc., and it's really a breath of fresh air in my opinion to get something so different. However, unfortunately, LEGO really dropped the ball with one of the worst playscale designs I've seen in quite some time, so let's elaborate on why this build is just not up to snuff. What better place to look up here close first than the front of the vehicle, which honestly looks okay. This angle is not perfect, but it's not horrible, and I do love these ball turrets. Those are a great design. Then we can transition to this section, and I gotta say, I really like that big sticker with the Republic logo. That is very nice, and there's only 3 different stickers in this entire set, which was great to see for such a big LEGO Star Wars product. This section can also open up with some Technic lift arms to reveal the first sliver of interior or lack thereof. Yeah, there's empty space, but there's literally nothing in there, and the crazier thing is they don't give you anything to put in there. There's no weapons rack, there's no storage for extra missiles or anything. It's ridiculous. LEGO, what are we doing? Just a complete waste of space. Above that, we have one of the most competent areas of this set, and that is the cockpit design. Everything here functions pretty well. The only thing I'm not a big fan of are these minuscule stickers in between the 2 cockpits. Those were just a pain in the butt to put on. However, everything here functions pretty normally. The cockpits can open up like so. There are nice printed control panels on the inside, and while you don't get any pilot minifigures, which is a consistent issue with LEGO Republic gunship designs, the clone troopers do fit in there fairly snugly. So overall, this is a pretty good build. Behind there, you can see the carrying handle for this gunship, and look, I love the carrying handles LEGO introduced a pretty while ago now. Those are very good designs and really help for transportation and swooshability, so great across the board. Unfortunately, especially when you see the side profile of this vehicle, this handle in particular is so intrusive to the look of this build. It's just ugly. There's no other way of putting it. Speaking of ugly, the angles here just don't work for me. There's odd parts that jut out. It doesn't really match. I just don't think it's a very good design overall. That brings us down to the hangar bay level of this gunship, which at first glance looks pretty good. I actually think these stripes here are designed very well, and the simulated windows work for me too, so that's good. However, yet again, there are so many hidden flaws. First up, these gaps. There are gaps on this part right here that I failed to mention earlier that look horrendous. The gap right here is massive. That is one of the biggest gaps I've seen in LEGO set in a long time. The gap in between these parts right here looks horrible. This is one of the gappiest modern LEGO Star Wars builds I've ever seen. But is it functional? Yeah, it actually is fairly functional. There are some Technic lift arms on the back that if you push in, it will open up the doors, and that is a fairly smooth mechanism. I like that quite a bit, and that reveals the interior, which yet again has absolutely nothing. However, I will give some credit where credit is due. It does fit the minifigures fairly nicely, and it feels relatively to scale with the figures, so that's good at least. However, once again, another massive flaw is revealed here. There are supposed to be two separate doors, one that goes out this way like the set actually does, and then one that goes out this way, which is just completely omitted from this design, and LEGO didn't even attempt to do that. Just a huge inaccuracy to the source material. Working our way towards the back of the build here, you have this ramp that can fold down, which works fairly nicely. However, there is no small speeder bike build to go in the back here, something every other minifigure scale version of the Republic Gunship has had in the past, and that added so much playability to the set, a huge missed opportunity. Additionally, the design back here, it just sucks. There's no other way of putting it. It is so skinny. This part juts out and looks really awkward. This ball turret here, I like the articulation with the mixel ball joint, but it's a pathetic excuse for a gun. The only redeeming quality back here is there is some storage right here, which you can put some extra shots for your stud shooters or your character's weapons, so that's nice, I guess. Finally, we can look at the wings of this build, which is probably going to be my least negative segment of this review because, honestly, the wings are fine. The angle is good, the slopes are good, the coloring is good. The only bad thing here are these stud shooters at the end. I don't hate that LEGO added stud shooters to this set. It just doesn't really represent the ball turret very well, if you ask me. I think they could have rounded off the design a little bit better on the top. However, I do appreciate the attempt to round it off on the bottom. Last and the opposite of least are the cannons on top. This is by far the sleekest design on this entire build. These are so smooth. They look great if you ask me. LEGO, why couldn't the rest of this build look as good as these cannons? They are fabulous. Well, alrighty then. Those are my close-up thoughts on the Coruscant Guard gunship. I posed the question at the beginning of this video, is this gunship really that bad? And unfortunately in this instance, yeah. It is. This is by far the worst play-scale gunship LEGO has ever done. And there's one key reason, and that's downsizing. Not to be confused with that crappy 2017 Matt Damon movie, which is honestly kind of symbolic of how bad this set is. They really took the gunship and they downsized it, which is just such a head-scratching decision if you ask me. Why on earth would you do that? You know LEGO Star Wars fans want gunships. You could just recolored the 2013 version with this new color scheme and people would have eaten it up. Instead, we got this much smaller, way more compact gunship build that looks horrible. With all that being said, sometimes scaling something down can actually improve the design. For example, I actually believe the best clone turbo tank LEGO has ever made is the 2016 version. I think making it a little bit smaller actually gave them room to improve the proportions of that vehicle. However, that is not at all what happened here. LEGO downscaled the gunship, and with that, they completely compromised the look of the design, meaning this thing just has weird proportions, it has gaps everywhere, and then there are also just some parts of this set that are completely unexplainable, like the lack of interior detail. Like, what on earth is going on there? Those are things that could have easily been avoided even with the smaller scale. So overall, this is just kind of an unmitigated disaster. And then there's the value of this set. 140 bones for 1,083 pieces. I mean, I don't need to tell anybody that's a bad price to part ratio, and additionally the build just really isn't that big. It is not worth that price at all. This is easily like $30 to $40 overpriced, and you only get 5 minifigures. Now, 80% of those figures are fantastic, but like I mentioned during that segment of this review, that Commander Fox figure is a disgrace. It is one of the worst figures LEGO has ever made in a modern LEGO Star Wars set, which is a humongous letdown, and he was probably the biggest draw for most people figure-wise with this lineup. So overall, the value and the figures of this set fall flat on their face. I hate being that guy, but like the thumbnail of this video says, it sucks. This set sucks, it's horrible, don't buy it. If you really want some of the figures, just bricklink them. Unless you're completist like me and just need to buy pretty much every different version of a LEGO Star Wars set ever made, do not get this set. That's why it's getting the horrible rating of 3 out of 10. Gosh, I am really not happy with this one. Those are just my thoughts though. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also, while you're at it, please like this video, share it with all of your friends, subscribe to this channel, and hit that bell for new video notifications. This has been the Brickologist signing off. Peace out. God bless. Bye-bye.